Hi and welcome to the farm. Well, after 2 years, the day has finally come. Today we are back on the Sickle bar mower. So finish off those electrolytes, let's get to work. Now it is very late in the season for me to get this thing up and running. I need to be using this thing, I need to be cutting now. So I may cheat a little bit and actually use that one. This is a sickle bar mower that my dad bought back probably around 2000 or so. It is in better shape. On my Granddaddy's, to get it up and running, we'd have to replace the tire, okay? And what I would do is I would pull the tire off of this one, because this tire, while it's bad, is usable and better than that one. I would also have to pull the sickle bar itself over and put it on that one. And having taken this one off, I can tell you that the likelihood of that coming off without torches involved, very, very slim. Also, I know this one has a bad seal. You can see the Cape grease all down it, just for decades of leaking. So instead of taking all of those parts off of this mower and putting it on this frame, I think I'll just use that one. Now, I can't use this one directly because this one has the 3-point hitch adapter on it. In order to use that, I'd have to have an external cylinder right here that I don't have. And I would have to have remote hydraulics that I don't have. So I think instead of taking the wheel and the sickle bar and moving it to that frame, I think I will take that lifting rig that is designed for the Model M and move it to this frame. Is it cheating? Yes. But we got to get this done. Rain's a-coming. Well, regardless of which way I go with this, first step is clear these weeds out of the way. I don't think my revised plan of moving this rig over to the other frame is going to work, because this one has been welded in place. And I don't think that, unless I take this whole tongue section out, all the way from basically this whole underpiece right here, unless I pull that whole thing out, it's not going to move over. So I guess we're back to the other plan of see if I can move that sickle bar over to this frame. Well, let's see what we get into. All right, what have we got down here to work with? Spider. That's not good, but that's okay, because that over there is intact. This yoke is broken free of this other side over here. I think it's missing a couple links of chain. Yeah, in fact, there's supposed to be another piece that hooks into the back, which is missing on that one. It is present, strangely enough, on my Granddaddy's, so that will work fine. So can we get these nuts off of here that have been on there since 1950, 1948, whatever. Okay, so the part I'm talking about is this right here. This is supposed to have another kind of a yoke, kind of another piece like this that stretches all the way back and goes in around this component right here. I'll show you on my Granddaddy's that's intact. So you see, this is the part that it's got over there. It's got this link of chain, and then this yoke here, but is missing this piece right here with 15/16. No, going for a 1. Well, hopefully it's no bigger than 1 1/8 because it's the biggest I got. Woo, all right, well, that works out well. See if I can get a big hammer and whack it now. But I don't have a torch. And got all this grass. It's nice and dead, dry. Oh me, oh my. I have a 1 1/8 socket to put an impact on it, and there's no way to get an impact on that one because it's up underneath this this saddle. Okay. After a little bit of experimentation and looking at the two setups here, I think what I can do is take this whole saddle off of this one, sickle bar and all, and move it to the other frame. It looks like I need to take this component here apart, and this looks like it's too difficult to take apart, so I'm taking the other end. This is called the drag bar, I believe. I'm taking the other end of it off the frame. Seems to come off a little bit easier. I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, so our drag bar goes in by this really big pin that goes through, and then the front side of it is bolted in place. So we're going to try to do that to the other one as well. Over here, this is just turning through and through now. And this is just nothing but a plow bolt. And if you don't know what a plow bolt is, this is what a plow bolt is. So it's kind of like a carriage bolt, except it's not round on top, it's flat on top. Not completely flat, but mostly flat. But unlike a carriage bolt that has very squared off shoulders that go into the square hole, these are very much angled, kind of trapezoidal shape. This would be a pyramid. But it's not much to grab on. It really only grabs when it's tight. And so if your threads are all rusted up, like those are, you get out here once the tension comes off and it just spins. And there's really no way to grab it with anything other than a torch. New battery. There we go. Sun's come through that cloud over there, and man, that's powerful. There we go. All right, so we got one of our 3 links out on both of them. So that's what we're looking at right now. That's what's hitting us right in the eyeballs. The sun's poking through that little hole in the cloud, and everything else is really dark. But yeah, so Clemson game should be starting here in about an hour till kickoff. So if they're going to fly the jets, be any time now. Maybe they won't because of all the clouds. Who knows? Let's see what we can do about this pin. By pin, I mean gigantic nail. Yeah, come on. Well, finally. Now, where'd the other end of you go? If I don't find that, I'll find it with a tire. Where did you go? There it is. Ow! You'd think that was hot or something. I don't know. Somebody cut that with a wheel or something? Why would this be so hot? I don't know. Weird. Let's see, how am I going to get this guy off? Let's see if I can come in from this angle right here. All right, and so this one has all the proper linkages. It actually has pins and carter keys, and here it actually has the spring-loaded ball joints, where the other one just had a nail through it. All right, so it's been a few days. I've been oiling the knife on the sickle bar with WD-40 pretty much every day for the past few days now. Hopefully, now I can force that bar out so we can get that track cleaned up and get it ready to be used. All right, so my plan here is to take this 2x4 and go on this point where the pitman arm will normally connect to, and see if I can't start moving this thing back and forth. The knife is the part that holds all the blades, and it rides in a little, it's not a track, but it is kind of a groove. Whew. Yeah, she's in rough shape. We'll get her cleaned up. After we get her operational, we'll start replacing the teeth in it, but for now, these are going to be kind of sacrificial. Yeah. All right, as I have been reminded by my wife, God bless her, she puts up with me, my YouTube obsession, that about priorities, and restoring this is not the priority right now. The priority is this thing operational. And so I am concerned about the amount of rust in here and this thing freezing back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with a wire brush real quick, and I'll put a coat of primer on it just to kind of keep it from getting worse. And then this winter, maybe we do a restore on this thing. But for now, quick wire wheel, primer, and move on with it. Nerd goggles, because, you know, safety third. Or first, ninth. I forgot what now. I definitely need the wire wheel. Ooh, hi there. All right, the rest of it I'm not going to worry about. Nope, I'm just going to put a little bit of primer on that, just enough to keep it from getting worse. A little bit of primer from the late 90s. It'll be fine. It's not got to be pretty, just got to keep it from rusting. I want to take and clean this track out a little bit. Tell you what, let's get you guys in here and take a look at this so you can see what's going on. So we have, this is where we were bound up before. All that rust just was jacking it up in there and binding it up. And so that's going to have to be cleaned out. Nice wire wheel, a little bit of air, a little bit of scraping. And then this is the track. It's not really a track, it's really just this ledge right here that the knife is riding on. And that's got to be cleaned up again. Wire wheel ought to take care of that. We will have to replace some of these hold down clips. In fact, that one's missing. There should be one right there. That one's not too bad. That one on the end there is not too bad. But it all needs to be cleaned up. Once we get it operational and running, we'll find more parts that need to be replaced. But right now, I just want to get this running. So I was cleaning this up a little bit, and I noticed that there should be a way to get grease inside here. And I noticed there's this right here. And of course, this is the foot and saddle off of my dad's. I looked at my granddad's. His just has a hole here. I suspect it's supposed to be a zerk in this right here. And it's supposed to be a grease point, I'll bet. Yeah, I don't see any threads in it, but I'm suspecting that we could remedy that. All right, we need a little bit of grease in this thing first of all. Let's just stick the hose right there, nozzle right there, and just hit it with a couple of pumps. Now this right here is a turning surface right here, but this is not. I'm going to grease it anyway so that it doesn't rust. I'll slide that in. Pull that grease back. Shove some down in that right there. Maybe it'll go on anyway. Come on. Hit. That's it. Come on. There we go. Come on. That, I think, is the way that's supposed to go. And where did my split pin that's way too small go? I don't know. It's around here somewhere. Yep, there it is. My knee on it. Way too small, but yeah, that's what I'll do for now. There we go. Much nicer. Ha ha ha. Now it actually is supporting the weight properly now. It's the way it's supposed to be. In case you haven't figured out what's going on here, is this is transferring the weight, let me get on this side of here. This pulls that way with the weight out here of the sickle bar. That pulls in on this, which pulls down on that, which pulls down on the spring. So this one point lifts here, lifts this up and pulls that up at the same time. And so in essence, when I pull back here, we get a straight lift. And that gives me the ability here to adjust my angles. Pretty ingenious. And I have the remnants of my grease gun here. I'm just gonna, by hand, grease this slide, or this groove, whatever we want to call this thing. I'm sure there's a real name for it. I just don't know what it is off the top of my head. I'm gonna put some of this axle grease down it, just to give it a fighting chance. U-joint zerks. Those are always good. Ah, I thought there was a zerk on the tail. And it's not open. Nope, won't let any go in. I believe the seals may be shot in this. I don't know. I wonder if it's still under warranty. Maybe. So I've got the PTO shaft hooked up, and it is a crude PTO shaft. So basically, you just have 2 bolts. Clamshell, clamp it onto the PTO shaft. It does have splines to match up, but yeah, very crude. And so we'll be replacing that quickly. But I just want to get it hooked up and get it to turn, get some movement in this thing, because I would like to get this knife at least moving in it a few times. I guess one of the next things we ought to check is, does it have any grease in the gearbox? And actually it's not a gearbox, it's a chain box. Yeah. Ow. Nope, not it. Come here. Nope, not it. Nope, not it. It's one of those cases where it's just so rusted that it's not really any size. Oh no, it's a 5/8. Okay. And this is our, you guys can't see it probably, but it says oil level. So this is where we fill and check at. And as you can see from all of the leaks, it's been leaking for years and years, and it is really, no, it's empty. It's oily inside there, but I don't actually see any oil level. So, okay, so here we go. This makes me nervous. First time it's going to be under power, and God, this particular unit, first time it's been under power probably in at least 25 years, 24 years, 20 years. Let's call it 20, just to be on the safe side. Here we go. Cool. Cool. All right. I call that a success. A minor success. But hey, you take what you can get, right? All right, well, let's slide a knife into it. Oh me, somebody left, some idiot left a thing out in the sun. Who did that? It's hot and it's sharp. Woo! Okay, I have gloves. They were lovely gloves. Beautiful gloves, amazing. There they are. It's much more comfortable to pick up now. Now, do we go under the skid? I think we do. It's burning up out there. There we go. Not half bad. Not half bad. All right. Let's assemble a pitman arm. Should have already done this. I should have done this about 2 years ago, which is when I shellacked this, cleaned these bits up here and painted. I wonder if I have the footage for it. If so, I'll put it in here, I guess. So this bit here, okay, so let me start off. Both have 4 holes on each end. Both ends have 4 holes. One end has a slot cut in it. The other end has a hole in it. So this is for our bushing end. This is for our fork end. Now then, this bit goes on like this. And oh, I hope I brought the little metal straps along the outside of this. Did I? Yes, they're there. There they are. Hang on. There you go. One. The other one. So there's another flat plate. Our carriage bolt, it's not a carriage bolt. Our carriage bolts catch in that. Oh, that's always a hard place to get at. Well, there it is. Got it. I got it. Relax, I got it. All right. So this bit goes through here, and then through there. Yep, through there. Washer, lock nut. And we just do the same thing throughout. We want to tighten them up so that they draw the carriage bolts in all the way, because it's really not much holding it there, just that little bit of strap, but it is embedding into the wood, and this is hickory. It's hard. Now then, this bit. Really should clean these springs up a little bit. And the spring is broken, but that's fine. It goes down in here. And really it does. This little tail of the fork goes in the spring. And the spring is going to force it forward, allegedly. We have a severely abbreviated spring. I wonder if I can get them to hook together. Maybe it'll work like this. There. No problem, right? And yes, I know it's redundant to have a lock washer and a nylon nut or a nylock, but yeah, you know me, Mr. Redundant, Mr. Sir Redundant, Master of Redundancy. Now then, and this supposedly will flex back, allowing this to spring apart to go over the ball on the end of our knife. All right, that's it. Torque to spec. We can take and pull this painter's tape off here after a couple of years. Let's go see if we can get this thing on. This is not a bearing, it's a bushing. And it rides on this thing, which is really, really rough. So I'm gonna just kind of dab some grease on that. Go ahead and run it into my bushing. Oh, there's my pink grease showing up. Weird. All right. That goes on, and then this is big flange nut goes on the outside. Get this zerk, a little bit of grease into the bushing until it oozes out. Now then, let's go to the other side. All right, now you guys are over on the other side, and you see what I got to do now is I got to release this fork back. That's about as far back as it goes, which means I need the knife to go further out. A little bit more. A little more. Right about there. All right, now I got to get this fork to go back. I wonder if I could use a big screwdriver. I wonder if that would work. Now I just pushed the knife further forward, which is not what I wanted. Some pink grease on my nice green and yellow paint. See if that gives any more action here. Ow! That's a knuckle buster. All right. Yep. My pitman arm is missing the release spring, which would normally hold the latch fork back so that you can connect and disconnect the pitman arm from the knife head. It's also used as the fulcrum to lever that fork back. And without it, there's really nothing to use to pry that fork back and take the pressure off the pitman arm latch straps. Now, my idea here is to use a ratchet strap down the length of the pitman arm to pull that latch fork back,
hold it back so I can then put the pitman arm on the knife head. There's one glaring, gaping hole in that logic, and that's how do I get the strap back out, because now the pitman arm straps have the knife head sandwiched between them, and there's no room to get my ratchet strap hook back out. Now, at this point, it's late in the day, and it's pretty obvious that my brain is not up to speed. All I had to do is take the ratchet off the strap and pull the blank end of the strap out. But, logic is no longer a primary brain function, apparently. I just go all caveman and cut the strap instead of keeping that greasy strap for the next time I need it. There is something to be said for slowing down, having a cup of tea, and I think about it.
All right, let's get some stuff out of the way. Hoo-yah. Get out of there. Yep. I think she's as greased up as she's going to get. Let's fire it up. PTO, engage. Here we go. This is the first time this setup is run in many decades. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go cut something. Whew, it has been a long day. The iPhone battery died just as I was pulling in, and I had this whole speech and everything laid out. It was perfect. Anyway, so a lot left to do on it. All of these teeth will have to be replaced at some point, but I'm going to start using them, get everything else worked out before we start replacing those. We need a grass board. I'm not going to put the wooden one on there. I know a lot of purists are going to say, but you got to have it. This needs to be working, not just, it's not a museum piece. This is going to be a work piece. So I'm going to get the little metal swather, grass board, whatever you want to call that. We need chain for the height adjustment. This bit right here is not right. This is the piece that adjusts up and down how level this cut is. But even with it all the way down, it's really not level. And the one that came off of this frame, this was adjusted all the way in and bent. So there's probably some misalignment on this frame, which is fine. We just got to get it adjusted right. We're going to need this collar right here. Probably going to have to fabricate something because I can't find it. It's unobtainium. Seals eventually, not right away. And we'll have a working sickle bar mower, but not with this tractor, because this tractor, the transmission sounds like a dryer for old bricks. It just chung 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 chung. It does not sound good at all. No. So probably have to get my granddad's out, get the wheel bearing fixed on it before we can start cutting with it. I'm afraid this one was just gonna fly apart on me. But if you like this content, please like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for joining me on the farm.